Food143 viewers, I'm Catherine Harvey and this is Food143. What's better than Cohasset in the summer? Ask most Cohasset residents and they'll say nothing is better, except maybe the foods we love prepared and enjoyed at some of our favorite spots around town. I've been here 15 years and I still haven't covered it all. So I'm going out and about around town to find out all the things Cohasset residents love about food. What we like to eat, where we like to eat it, and how we like it prepared. So come along.
The One Table Cohasset Cookbook has been the talk of the town. While we were all isolating in our homes during the pandemic, One Table Cohasset was keeping us together, sharing recipes throughout the community. Today, Food143 is visiting with Mary McGoldrick and Meghan Fales to talk about this amazing project and hopefully make some good food. Meghan and Mary, thank you so much for joining us. I know I speak for the whole 143 TV and Food143. We've been looking forward to this for a really long time.
Thank you.
It's such an amazing project. How many books are out there now?
Between 600 and 700?
Not enough.
Not enough. Very good answer.
Not enough.
So we did a print run of 1,000.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, we obviously have some more to sell, but it's been really well received so far.
Do you think the pandemic made it harder to do something like this? Was it a pandemic idea, or did you have to adopt? Tell us how working through the pandemic was like.
Well, I first heard of the cookbook from Louisa in and around some of the Cohasset 250 celebration ideas and events that were happening, which of course we never got to see the light of day, unfortunately. So then I think it just rolled into, we have all this time on our hands, we're all cooking.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time to execute this cookbook idea.
Yeah. And she had some great stories too. Her family is kind of far-flung across the country, and they would have cooking competitions on Zoom. And then so it was their way of being able to eat together around a table with a daughter in California and people scattered in her family. So I think she'd always been harboring that thought, and then it was a perfect time because we were literally, you know, we were locked in.
Wow. And I mean, how long from conception to publishing, how long did this effort take?
I don't know when our first Zoom meeting was, but it went to print in early October.
Yes, so it was, I would say it was a year, all in, because there were a lot of concept meetings at the beginning, all on Zoom, which we had a lot of, sometimes it was the only thing you did that day, so, so that was good. And really set up our systems. I mean, we had an amazing team. Meg Wheeler, who's been involved in the community, set up all of our kind of back office for us, so to speak. All of our way to receive the recipes and test the recipes and so forth. So that was terrific. But I would say like a year and a half, probably end to end. Yeah.
So it sounds like you guys had a really incredible team. Can you talk a little bit about who was involved and what they brought to the table here?
And we all sort of honed in on our special skills, some being cooking, some being organization, editing, networkers, the people connectors like Nancy Hamilton and Sue McNamara were. I think Sue was one of the first people because she pulled people in from all throughout the community that Louisa didn't necessarily know. Being
a newer member. And,
right.
I think we already talked about Meg Wheeler, who just was extraordinary doing our back office and all our financials for us. Cindy Matheson, who did a lot of testing for us as well, is an amazing baker if you ever get to go to Cindy's house. You know, it was just a terrific group. Jane Whittaker, who did all of our graphic design, extremely talented. You'll notice that, I mean, the book is truly beautiful.
Beautiful book,
yeah.
One thing that really impressed me about the whole project was how you got the word out there. I mean, everyone knows about this. There were great images, and I mean, it was social media push, all of that. You know, speak a little bit how you had so much success getting the word out and letting people know about this.
Well, I need to toot your horn because Meghan, through Anchor and Sale 1.0, was just amazing having the book out there and things like that. And now Anchor and Sale 2.0 is also fabulous because it's in the window.
Yeah.
And Kara.
Yeah.
So really encouraging us to take photos, take videos, put it on Insta.
Right.
Did you get a lot of positive feedback? Obviously, you were asking for recipes, but did you get a lot of positive feedback from people just saying, wow, what a cool project? I mean, what was the community saying as you were going through this whole process?
Everybody I spoke with at least would say, oh yeah, and I need to send in that recipe. And of course we were like extracting the recipes from people painstakingly, and then cut to the cookbook is on the counter and a gentleman comes in, he's, should have sent my gazpacho recipe in, and he's looking through, he's like, this is my gazpacho recipe. His wife sent it in.
He actually sent it in, interesting. Yeah.
So it's funny, I mean, and now we kind of need a version 2 because people see it and they are shocked at how beautiful it is and excited by it, and I'll put a recipe in next time, but
do you want to announce anything here about version 2?
No.
We're breaking, okay.
No.
I know that the proceeds of the book went to Wellspring Multi-Service Centers.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just explain to us a little bit about why that community, why that group was such a focus of yours, what connected you with them, and how this helps them complete their mission?
So they have a new food initiative. They got their hands on a food truck a couple of years ago with the idea of bringing food to the communities that need it, because there's a stigma around food pantries and soup kitchens and the like. And I think with the thought that food is about community and sharing, the food truck just, the timing with that, and we were looking at other organizations when we were thinking about where any profits would go. It just seemed like a really logical fit.
So the books are still available. I know a lot of them were pre-ordered. My wife and I pre-ordered one, obviously, and we also got a great apron, which is a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
So, but the books are still available at retail stores here in Cohasset?
we have them at Darren's, at Buttonwoods, at Anchor and Sale.
And in my garage.
Some of the recipes, how many recipes are in the book?
Over 200. I don't know the exact count, but it's over 200.
And how many of those did you make to test out?
All of them.
How was that?
It was actually fun. Did you find it fun?
I did,
Yeah.
and I didn't do nearly as many as you and some of the others made, but it was fun. It's fun to read people's interpretations of the recipe, and I wouldn't have thought of doing that, and it's great to see recipes in all shapes and sizes and try and consolidate them into one cookbook.
There were probably like a lot of recipes that were familiar as a concept, but I guess some of them came in different forms that you hadn't expected before. That must have really been fun.
Several chowders, several cranberry nut.
Yes,
orange
lots of
breads.
cranberry nut breads.
Yes.
Lots of blueberry breads, actually.
Yeah.
That was a big community pull. Well, one of the things that was really neat was that I have to give out a shout to Ronnie Goodwin at Goodwin Graphics, because you have no idea sometimes people's hidden talents.
Yeah.
And he submitted some recipes, and we would make them and be texting each other going, this is fabulous.
Really good, and he took pictures of it. Like he was way
just,
into the.
I would highly recommend following him on Facebook, because it's always good food with Ronnie Goodwin. Yeah.
But things like that, just the way the community responded, and the stories that they shared, recipes that they'd had from their great-grandmother, things like that. I mean, it's really touching. And Cohasset, Jackie Dormitzer, who's also very important to mention here, did a lot of our historical notes in the cookbook, and just a lot of the remembrances. Obviously, since she wrote the history of Cohasset, she has such a volume of information, but just really fascinating and just sweet. I feel like it really represented the town.
Well, you mentioned the blueberry bread. I want to hear more about the recipes. So let's hop in the kitchen. Let's have some fun. I'm a little bit honored to be in this kitchen, knowing now that you had like 200 recipes that you all made it here. I mean, that's just an amazing amount of cooking.
Yes, well, we didn't all make it here, but this was, yes, one of the spots where we cooked away.
And I'm sure every single recipe is delicious, but just between us and the rest of the world, a couple favorites that are really standouts. I mean, if there was one that you just said, hey, you gotta try it, if you're gonna do one of them, start here. What's a good home run? And then, again, no favorites, just recommendations.
I loved the shrimp scampi. That
Yes.
was David Hassan's.
That's really good. I loved the beans and greens burrito because it's not anything I would have picked up out of a recipe book and tried unless I needed to test it.
Yeah.
And I told everybody about it. It was absolutely just fabulous.
She really did.
Yeah. Every photo makes me hungry. Like, how did you get such great photography in this thing?
Well, we had our very own Madison Pratt who helped us out and did an amazing job. She did some of the outside shoots, some of the inside. We also had a photographer who's credited in the book, who was terrific. And a lot of the photos were taken by us, who you know, did the testing.
Linda Campos,
Who was terrific.
So the photos are like a mix of, some people have submitted their own, but some of these you actually just made and then photographed yourself.
Yeah.
And some of the food looks so perfectly prepared. It's like it's right out of a a Food Network thing. So it looks just excellent, delicious.
This is a pandemic story. We were still grinding away at Anchor and Sale and working every day and trying to get out of the rut, and I came up with the idea of happy hour for dinner on Fridays. So one of the recipes was mussels, and you just got a kit and you took it home and put it all together and cooked it. We did.
I'm a big sweetbread fan, and I know there's a couple recipes. We've got one here. Which recipe is this, and where did it come from?
So we actually got 3 or 4 blueberry recipes. This one is from Joy Schiffman, who was in charge of our 250.
Page 142 in the book.
I
Okay.
can tell, and I can tell you
Yes.
It's a little rippled.
It is, yeah.
And this is her melt in the mouth blueberry cake, and it really is. It's terrific, and it's blueberry season. We had a lot of conversation about if you get more than one recipe of something, do you include them all? We said yes, because they're all different enough.
They're different, yeah.
And there tends to be a lot of tradition with the way that you made it in your family.
It gives options. I mean, you can make it multiple times in different ways.
Yeah.
And the fact that there are 200 recipes, you had the room to kind of be creative. Which is,
Yeah.
This looked like a really fun day.
Yeah, that was fun.
Is it the whole team?
That is our team. Cindy Matheson might have been gone that day, but everybody else was around.
We had lots of food prepped for a photo shoot we did with Anne LaFave upstairs at the
Hillside Room.
Yeah.
That's one thing about this book, the photography. Everything looks delicious, and everything is so professionally laid out. It's beautiful.
Well, we were really, really fortunate through connections of the team a lot with Kara, just to be able to pull so many different community organizations and businesses in to do this, which just made it so much more special.
Having all the cranberry breads that you have, I think, that gets into a little bit of the local flavor of Cohasset, and we've got such great, the farmer's market, Holly Hill.
Yes.
There's such it literally is ground level culture here of ingredients. How much did you try to incorporate that into the book and in the recipes that you chose for this whole effort?
Quite a bit. Yeah. Holly Hill submitted several recipes. We did a photo shoot there.
Yeah, Madison took some photos for us there.
Special place.
It's amazing. We did a couple pop-ups over there. I mean, they've been really receptive to the participation, and obviously it's a local treasure.
So a lot of these recipes seem like, I guess the word might be like heirloom recipes, really unique to here. Tell us about this one or other ones that really make that connection.
So beach plums are rare to begin with, and obviously this recipe came from Jennifer Higginson, who is a stalwart member of the community, to be sure. And it's, as Megan said, you're not going to find this or this recipe anywhere else. And it's not, if people are afraid of jam, it's not hard. It's really not hard at all. You need the fruit and sugar and water, and you're pretty much good to go.
And it's actual like beach plums, like this is the thing.
Yes, they grow. So she talks about that. They grow in this climate with the misty ocean air and the sunshine.
Never heard of this. Yeah.
It is definitely a Cohasset.
And are there still beach plum plants in Cohasset actually in the community still?
Yes.
Surviving? Wow.
And there's also a great recipe if we go to the chowders.
Just like the cranberry bread, I imagine you got a lot of chowder submissions here. Tell us a little bit about what made all these so special.
This is for the annual Cohasset Yacht Club Chowder Day races from the 1950s. This is from Patty Lynn.
So Patty Line, she and her husband Austin own Good Sport. Austin Jr. now runs Good Sport. Yes. But she dug deep to find this for us, which was terrific. And this was one of the very first recipes we got in too, which was exciting.
And you said this was traditionally served every year at the yacht club for an event. So this is a recipe that a lot of people in Cohasset have had, not even realizing that now it's in the book. Right?
Yeah, and
Cool.
it's 75 years old, so how cool is that?
Yeah. So the book is still available. I know we referenced it, but one more clarification for anyone who's out there that still wants to grab one of these. Where can we grab one from?
You can go to Buttonwood Books on 3A. You can go to Darrell Lynn's in the Village,
Or you can go to Anchor and Sale.
And can we still purchase them through the website, or was that for
Yes,
reserve only?
Absolutely, and that's a good note to make for out-of-towners. You can purchase it on the website and we'll ship it.
And it's onetablecohasset.com. Is that
Correct.
okay? Well, guys, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
This is an amazing thing. Thank you for bringing this to the community.
You're not leaving without eating the melt in your mouth
I
blueberry.
think everyone on the team is going to have a piece. So thank you guys so much again for this. It's really wonderful. Thank you for joining us today on Food 143. We hope to see you next time.